Lesson 4 for July 20 to 26, Mercy and Justice in Psalms and Proverbs. Monday, July 22. Do something, God. Question, read Psalm 82. What is the message here to us? It only contains 8 verses. Let's begin at verse 1. God stands in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Selah. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Free them from the hand of the wicked. They do not know, nor do they understand. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are unstable. I said, You are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all nations. Despite the ordering and rules of society that God gave to them, at various times in their history, the Israelites failed to live up to this plan. They too easily became like the nations around them, living by a pattern of injustice and oppression. Leaders and judges looked after only themselves, and their favour could be purchased with bribes. Without courts to protect them, ordinary people, and the poor especially, were subject to exploitation. Psalm 82 is a response to such a situation. It describes God's role as supreme judge, and it depicts a scene in which he judges the leaders and even the judges of the people. This psalm emphasizes that those who fill such roles in society are, as Ellen White writes in Prophets and Kings, page 198, appointed to act as judges under him. End of quote. They hold their position and conduct their work as representatives and subordinates of God. In the psalmist's view, the justice of God is a model for how earthly justice should function, and it also provides the measure against which such justice or injustice, and those who dispense it, will be judged. The psalm concludes with a specific call for God to act in verse 8. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all nations, to intervene and to stop the injustice that is so prevalent in the nation. Like many of the psalms, this one gives a voice to the voiceless and to the oppressed, those whose voices have been silenced by the unjust systems in which they live and work. Psalm 82 makes an appeal to God in his position of supreme judge and sovereign ruler of the universe and of all the nations. There is no higher court or authority to which such an appeal could be made. The assurance comes that when earthly courts do not hear or uphold the cries of the poor and the oppressed, which is so often the case here, there is still an undeniable opportunity to call for help. At different times in our lives, we might find ourselves as victims of injustice, but at other times we might be the one committing or profiting from injustice. In passages such as Psalm 82, we can find insight and wisdom, whether we are oppressed or the oppressor. God is concerned for the unjust judges too, describing them as his children and wanting them to choose to live better. As we read in verse 6, I said, You are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Thus, there's hope even for those on the wrong side of oppression if they will allow themselves to be changed. You have been listening to a reading of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide by Dr. Percy Harold from Queensland, Australia. This service is brought to you by Hope Channel, the Sabbath School Department, and Christian Services for the Blind. Remember, God is always faithful.